Now, people in Barnet have made a film about how they're coping with life in 2012. A Tale of Two Barnets premieres tonight in Finchley. It features all sorts of people, from a war veteran to a campaigning pensioner. It's already had approval from the award-winning filmmaker Ken Loach. And to tell us more is its producer Roger Tichborne, joins us here in the studio. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning. Morning.
So, why a film about Barnet?
Well, it all started. I run a music rehearsal studio, and a guy makes videos for me, Charles Hondrick. He's come over here about a year ago from the States, and he, being an American, they're obsessed with Charles Dickens and the Victorian era and things like that. And he was saying to me that it's 200 years since the birth of Charles Dickens, and I didn't actually know. But Dickens's workhouse from Oliver Twist was set in Barnet. And Charles wanted to make a film for the Sheffield Documentary Festival because he wanted to get out of the video business and the sort of music video business, and he wanted to get his teeth into something, and he thought that might be a way. And I said, I can help you with that, because I run a blog in Barnet, and I know a lot of people with a lot of problems. And so we sort of started going around interviewing people, and we posed the question, how's Barnet changed and how's it stayed the same in the last 200 years?
Lovely idea. I mean, it's real people's real stories.
Yeah, it's sort of like reality TV, but it's not like A Secret Millionaire where you go and change it and give everyone £1 million. You just document it and chronicle it.
Would you say that people are generally happy in Barnet now, or not? I mean, what's sort of the outcome, if you like, the conclusion from it?
Some people we met were happy, but I mean, the majority of people we talked to wanted to talk about their problems. And there were three themes that came up time and time again. The first thing was the issue of the death of the high street and how all the small shops are going, and you know how the shops where people have run them for 40 years and there's specialist knowledge, like the little bike shops and the health shops, how they're going.
If you want to compare it to Dickens' time, during then there was loads of independent shops.
Yeah.
That's what the high street was. It was the centre of the community.
Shops, markets. I mean, there was the Barnet Market that, you know, was...
And of course markets,
You said there were three things, so there was the shop.
The second thing a lot of people wanted to talk about, and this was funny enough, the shopkeepers, they wanted to talk about the problems with parking and how the council have made it almost impossible to afford to park, and also with the sort of CPZs, how local people and pensioners, you know, the cost of that to be. There was one guy talking about how a woman in his street, her children and her grandchildren can't afford to come and see her because it costs £4 to park outside her house, and he was saying, for them to come and see her regularly, that's more expensive than a gym membership. You know, how can that possibly be right?
And the third thing?
And the third thing that people wanted to talk about was the way the cuts are affecting them. And we've got a guy who's a quadriplegic who basically he's been disabled for 17 years since he broke his neck on his honeymoon. And he used to be a web designer. He can sort of type at the that sort of speed. And he's been put on. He's been taken off disability allowance and put on job seekers allowance because he did a website for a local school for something to do, and they paid him 50 quid for his effort. And you know, there's people like that.
And they all speak in the film. Now, if people want to see it, it's tonight, isn't it? It's at the Phoenix?
It's at the Phoenix in East Finchley. The doors open at 6 o'clock. The film's shown at 7 o'clock. It's £1 to get in, so it's nice and cheap.
And if you're not from Barnet, it'll still be interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
fascinating.
People love reality TV and hearing real people.
And it's also going to be shown in the House of Commons in April.
Yeah, we've got a screen there. An MP heard about it and thought it was a great thing. And we're chuffed to that. The funny thing is we missed the deadline for the Sheffield Festival.
Oh no, after all that. Well, listen, the very best of luck tonight.
Good luck. Well done.
At 6 o'clock, the Phoenix Cinema in East Finchley, and it's £1 to get in. Thank you very much, Roger Tichborne there, producer of the film about Barnet.